ESPN has made the decision to hire a racist and let him do a story about how racist sports are. So ESPN, by the way, Disney stock, as I speak to you, is at a 10-year low. It's below the price that it was on January 1st of 2014. So for people out there, it's not quite 10 years. All right, it's at a 9-year, 300-day roughly low. ESPN is now paying Ibram Kendi, who was hired by Boston University to run an anti-racist foundation. They hired him to do a documentary series starring Jamel Hill, arguing that all sports are racist. This is, I think, unfortunately symptomatic of the failures in our country over the last 15 to 20 years. What do I mean by this? It should be the case that there are certain places in American life that are devoid of politics and that all of us can go. If you're sitting in a stadium, I'm a season ticket holder for the Tennessee Titans. Pray for me. If I'm sitting in the stands for a Tennessee Titans game, as I was on Sunday, and the Tennessee Titans finally beat the Cincinnati Bengals, we won, my team, the Titans, 27-3. I was there with my third grader. My sister was also there, my niece. We're sitting in the same seats that my family has had since the stadium opened. North end zone, not super fancy seats. I still sit in the same seats that my dad bought when the Titans came to Nashville in 1998. I think my dad paid $60 a seat back then. I don't even know what the cover price of the tickets is now. Still in the same seats I pay for them. All right? The reason why I bring that up, every time the Titans scored a touchdown, which hasn't happened that often recently, every time they scored, I turned around and I was high-fiving everybody in the vicinity of me in the north end zone. Variety of different races, probably variety of different political opinions, men, women, could be gay, straight, I have no idea. Point on that is sports tribes cancel out political tribes. When you are in a stadium or an arena, you don't think about anything other than being excited to be a member of the same tribe, Tennessee Titan tribe. What they've done at ESPN, unfortunately, thanks to people that I believe are sadly genuinely racist, like Ibram Kendi and Jamel Hill, is they have taken the identity politics that infuses everything in the Democrat Party right now, and they have turned it into sports. So, for instance, if I give you an opinion on Justin Fields as a quarterback, I was making fun of how bad the Bears are. If I give you an opinion on Justin Fields, you don't take my opinion of Justin Fields as a quarterback of the Chicago Bears, who have lost 14 straight games, on its face value. You say, oh, your opinion of Justin Fields is that way if it's negative because he's a black quarterback. And if you defend Josh Allen after he plays poorly in week one, well, you're doing that because you're in favor of white quarterbacks. It's not true. Sports is the ultimate meritocracy. All that matters is whether you win or lose. Just win, baby, as Al Davis said. And sports brings everybody together. You can be the janitor or you can be the neurosurgeon, and you can have an opinion on the first-round draft pick that you just took and whether or not it's good to going to make the team better, or whether the quarterback deserves a $100 million contract or not. We're all equal in our sports opinions. What they have done at ESPN, and honestly, I'd love to have a conversation with Bob Iger about this because there's no way he doesn't see it, is they have taken the identity politics that fuels the entire Democrat Party and they have put it into the world of sports. So we no longer make decisions about whether a guy or girl is the best at their sport. It's an argument about their identity impacting our opinion of how they're doing in the sport. Such that if you're a white guy on ESPN right now, you can't even say that a black guy sucks at playing quarterback because immediately the argument will be, oh, that's because you're racist. This didn't exist in the 90s and the 2000s. best guy, best gal won. I don't think it's a coincidence that as Disney has gone woke, the stock price is tanked. It's at a 10-year low. And again, if Bob Iger were sitting here, I would say, what are you doing, dude? You took a brand that was beloved, that everyone was a fan of, both with ESPN and Disney movies, and you decided to infuse identity politics into it, and you have destroyed the brand that Walt Disney and many of their employees spent generations to build. And for what? And I just sit around and I think to myself, this noxious woke virus fueled by identity politics destroys everything that it touches. I can't sit and watch fucking Star Wars without somebody saying there's too many white Jedis. I can't watch the Major League Baseball playoffs without somebody complaining because there's not enough black players in Major League Baseball. I mean, is anybody out there going to argue that black people are underrepresented in pro sports? I mean, is anybody going to wave the flag if you want to play ridiculous identity politics and ask when we're going to have a white cornerback in the NFL again? How many kids can Jason Sehorn possibly have? We haven't had a white dude start at corner in forever. It's not racism, by the way, although there may be some element of racism because a coach is afraid to put a white guy out there because if he gets burned and gives up 3 touchdowns, the coach may get fired. But sports is about the meritocracy. The best man or the best woman wins. That's not the baseline of the Democrat Party anymore. It's the oppression Olympics. And there's so many different, I write about this a lot in the book, but you can use a guy like Deshaun Watson as an example. I don't know how many women ended up accusing Deshaun Watson of sexual assault. Something like 30. He got suspended 11 games. He ended up signing the biggest contract in the history of football at the time. Like $250 million some odd guaranteed. Almost nobody said a word. If a white guy had been accused of sexually assaulting 30 different women, if he had only been suspended for 11 games as a result, and he had gone and signed a $250 million guaranteed contract, ESPN would have lost its mind, arguing this is what white privilege is. The reality is nobody cares about anything other than, do you make it more likely that my team's going to win? I've said for years, people are like, oh, Colin Kaepernick speaks out. If Colin Kaepernick had taken a knee and said that he thought gay marriage needs to end, the same people cheering on Colin Kaepernick would have immediately demanded that he be fired. Making political statements in uniform at work, whether you're Colin Kaepernick or the fry guy at McDonald's, is a bad idea. Okay, I've written all about it. I've talked about it. I'm 100% convinced that I am right from a business perspective. I don't want to know who my UPS driver voted for. I don't care what my Walmart greeter thinks of Joe Biden or Donald Trump or anybody else, right? Just do your job. Say hi. Bring me my package. All right? The legacy here that was created is, look, Aaron Rodgers back in the day, he could have taken a knee during the national anthem because he thought ISIS was being unfairly treated. And he still would have gotten signed by 31 NFL teams if he was a free agent and he had left the Green Bay Packers. Do you know why? Because he's really good at quarterback. As long as you are talented, so long as your talent exceeds your problems, you're always going to be employed. It's the number one rule of sports. And so I see all these lies out there. And I see so few people. I mean, look, Trevor Bauer, Mel Tucker. I see guys getting railroaded every day. And almost nobody will say anything. Almost no one will speak out.